Gonna change the world
With my hockey stick,
Gonna make a real difference. Feed the poor and heal
We're back.
We're back.
We got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, somebody's not here though.
Somebody is on vacation. But before
Somebody's
we
on
get into that, is Papi hitting 70 goals?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
5 games, 5 goals.
Four games left. Needs 4 goals. He's got
He's gonna
66.
score 2 next game, and then he's gonna have like 2 games to.
But do you think that Keefe will play him though? In the because the last 2 games
Yeah.
are both Florida.
Oh yeah, if he's going for 70,
You think he's playing him?
no chance. If they take him out, like I'm actually gonna have beef with Keefe.
But like maybe they just dial
Ooh.
back his minutes a bit.
Beef with Keefe.
Beef with
That's
Keefe.
gotta be a segment, bro.
Beef with Keefe.
I have beef with Keefe not putting Papi out on the empty netter yesterday.
Oh.
Beef with Keefe taking Robertson out of the lineup, and then he comes back and scores every time.
Did you see the graphic they put up of Robertson? It's something like his goals per game is 3rd on the team, but it's because he plays so little.
He plays so little, so he'll come in the lineup, score about 3 goals in 6 games, yanked out of the lineup,
Yeah.
and then comes back, scores. It's like, what else is this guy supposed to do? I think he should be up there or tested with like Marner.
Mm.
Like Marner and Robertson, like the guy can score. The guy can
Yeah,
shoot. Like
I mean, Bobby
Nylander on that third
McMahon.
line doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why they didn't bring Mitch back, get him mixed into the third line. Like, why are you putting Nylander down to the third line?
I think it's because they need someone to elevate JT's
But
game.
Nylander, bro, he's got the most points in the team.
Yeah.
Matthews.
Yeah.
And then Marner could have just had like third line minutes. Like he's just coming back. He does look a little like he's buzzing, but he looks a little.
He's just figuring out, like working
yeah,
out
he
the.
took a month off.
Yeah, exactly.
Give him some third line minutes, get
Little
him
bit of
playing
rust
third
off,
liners,
yeah.
and then bring him back in. But like putting Nylander down when he was clicking now looks like he's kind of off it a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's going to happen going on the third line, but I kind of like the idea of spreading them out a bit. But let's get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
I want to talk about our predictions for the playoff roster,
Okay.
but we'll get into that a bit later. Before that, Jeremy actually has a message from Costa Rica.
Oh, what's Jerry saying from the sunny Costa Rica?
Yeah,
right now?
jealous. Although it is pretty nice out today.
It is beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
He's missed a couple nice days.
Yeah, he also missed a snowstorm.
And a hailstorm yesterday, actually. I got trapped in my car yesterday on the way back from the gym. I got into the driveway, and, bro, it started hailing.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
chunks of hail. And I'm like, I'm going to be the guy, like, gets out, and the biggest hail on earth comes down and hits me in the
Like
head.
from the
and I
day after
die.
tomorrow, the big ice
Bro.
chunks dropping.
They were like this big, bro. They were like, you guys can't
Golf
see, but it was
balls,
like
yeah.
golf balls. And I'm like, yo, I got to stay in the car and not.
Gonna dent your car.
Yeah, so I don't get hit in the head and die.
Jer is in a bit of a different climate, but he says, I haven't found a hockey rink yet. The ocean appears to not be close to freezing, but I check it every day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I bet you he's just enjoying it out there.
Yeah. So cheers to Jer out in Costa Rica. He'll be back for next week.
Yeah, he's probably just buzzing there. Beach, sun.
Yeah.
The kids, though. He's got the kids, all the kids, so that's got to be a little.
Yeah, I think he loves it though.
Does he, though?
Yeah.
You know, he says he loves it, you know. Feel like
He-
it'd be a little bit extra work.
Yeah, probably. Well,
vacation.
obviously, yeah. 3
Yeah.
kids on vacation, not always the easiest of times, especially with travel. But
Are you a fan of kids?
yeah, I like kids. No,
get-
I don't always
get a little
like
bit
other
annoyed with
people's kids.
Kids kind of annoy me a little bit.
Yeah. I used to be like that. I'm kind of like I'm in an in between phase right now.
Yeah,
There's
I
times
think it
where-
depends on the age.
Yeah, and like when you have like a relationship and you're like looking for future thing, it's like yeah, you kind of like certain aspects of kids, and then you see other people's kids when they're just in
Yeah.
a bad mood.
But
and
like
you're
just having like some kids when they're around and they're like moody and it's like oh man like you can't stand kids.
yeah,
I'm like,
Chippy can't stand kids.
stand kids. Can't stand the kids, man.
Yeah, should we do clips of the week? Did
Let's-
you? Did you?
Yeah, I don't think I have a clip of the week.
All right, I got one from Jer. It's kind of a more of a quote. I couldn't find the
Is it a
original
surf?
clip.
What is it? A surf clip?
Surf.
out on vacation.
It's Jer sunbathing with
Yeah.
the kids making sandcastles on the beach.
That would have been fun.
No, it's actually I think he was wanting to say something about how Reeves has been making an impact.
They took
On
him
the
out of the
lineup.
lineup.
They took him out of the lineup yesterday, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the lineup in Game 1 of the
I
playoffs.
wouldn't be surprised either.
But he sent a quote from Austin Matthews. He says, he's just an animal. Honestly, he's a beast. It's moments like those where you really realize how important he is to the team. I love watching him do what he does. He's the best in the world at it for a reason. And he's, of course, talking about his fight, Reeves' fight with Pizzetta.
After Pizzetta hit Camp,
Yeah.
blindsided Camp, and
Yeah.
you got to answer the bell, Pizzetta.
And I feel like as much as there's been ups and downs with Reeves, that's for sure, one thing that he's provided is some mojo.
Oh, he's been buzzing. I was liking that fourth line with him in the mix.
Yeah,
He's almost scored a couple.
He's running into the corners and with
hammering guys.
bull in a china shop
Just
every time.
blowing guys up like.
And when you are Matthews and Domi, and like they follow up a shift like that, where Reeves and Camp, they're just going in, mucking in the corner and like grinding, right?
Gives you energy.
It gives you the energy to go out there, and like the other team's going to give you a bit more space because they're a little bit rattled.
And then also some of the other boys start getting in the mix too.
Yeah.
Domi starts throwing it around.
Bertuzzi, he's been.
And then it's like, wow, we're actually a hitting team. We're way better when we're physical.
Yeah.
Like when we're playing a physical game, I think everyone gets into the game.
Yes.
So it would be nice to see us come out in the first round and have some of that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see just like if the Leafs first round is a different style of hockey than we've seen in playoffs in the past.
Yeah,
because
I'm
like
hoping so.
The past, like I'd say the past month, really, you've started to see it come together where when the teams like if they get down, they're not like they don't even seem worried about it.
Yeah,
they're like, we're just gonna keep doing our thing. Our chances are gonna come. They're not like panicking to make like drop pass and like Marner's. I mean, Marner still always does that where he'll like throw the puck somewhere and like.
Yeah, the whole team.
It's
like
when it works.
Drop passes, like we are kind of like we do play an offensive game, so there are moments where they come over the line and they're a little bit more like Riley did one. He was the last defenseman, and he comes in, he throws it back to the defenseman, like Riley, that's your position.
Yeah,
so,
you're the last one.
Yeah, I feel like you got to play a little more risky when we're an offensive team, and you have to kind of make those commitments. I find our pinching can be atrocious at times. Like McCabe will get caught 2-on-1s. Happened last game. I feel like if we could like
dial those back a bit,
like just have like pinch with a purpose. I do like when we're pinching though. I find like they've been given the green light to like get in on that mix, especially when they're cycling it around. The guys will leave it, and like Benoit will go in, or even Giordano.
Yeah, Benoit's been like I think actually Giordano was a big part of the Domi to Bertuzzi goal last night because he drove the net.
Yes.
And then that freed up space for Domi to hit Bertuzzi.
So the defenseman needs that green light.
Yeah.
They have it sometime. Liljegren's been out of the lineup, eh?
Yeah, he's been injured. He's okay. I don't know what's going to happen. Is he going to miss the
I don't think
game one roster?
I don't think he should be in game one. To be honest,
Yeah. They're doing fine without him.
Yeah. I like Gio. Gio in the mix. Like
yeah. Little vet
I feel
experience.
Like he could be burned with the speed, but
I think that regardless of what they go with game one, it's not a lock for game 2.
Oh no, a game.
You know, like
our lineup's gonna be jumbled by game 3. It's gonna be a complete different fourth line.
Yeah,
Marner's gonna be with Matthews again. It's
like unless they absolutely come out with whatever roster they have and just dominate.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a different.
Wouldn't that
lineup.
be nice though?
It would be nice.
We come out and we just take like a 2-0 lead, just dominating, like ozone cycling. The pucks are going in. We're getting the saves.
In the past,
manifesting it right now.
In the past, though, if they come out and dominate one game, the next game it's always the opposite.
It's definitely hard to like 2 games in a row to link them because the other team's coming back heavy.
Yeah,
but it would be nice to just
a stress-free first round,
like a sweep series. Like,
oh man. We're dreaming now.
Yeah,
we're just like wouldn't that be
what I
nice?
mean? It's like daydream manifesting right now, but
yeah,
man, wouldn't that be a good like we win the first game, go up 1, we win the second on the road, we win the third, maybe lose.
We just win them all. How about that?
Yeah, we just win them all. We don't lose. That would be nice.
Yeah. Speaking of winning games, the Puck Daddy Summer League.
You guys had a game last night.
We had a game last night. I didn't play, along with you, and obviously Jeremy didn't play, and we have a few other regulars that couldn't make it.
Who was there?
We had 5 guys.
So, which 5?
5 skaters. We had Tay Mike from the Toe Dragons.
Okay, you had Tay.
And then we got Reed, a new tendy that I recruited.
Okay.
And he used to play, I think he played in the O. So he's nasty.
So we have a tendy?
Yeah, he's solid.
Way.
He kept them to 2 goals, and we won 3-2. with 5 skaters against a full bench.
Mike's a horse.
Yeah,
Mike might be like men's league MVP.
Yeah.
Status, bro. This guy's an animal.
He was
bro.
okay. So there's
Just
5
get off the
skaters.
ice, and he's I call him minesweeper. Like you cannot like his stick is like active
Yes.
stick's insane, bro.
I witnessed that firsthand. So I was coaching last night. I was on the bench. I brought some beers for the boys.
Oh,
I
nice.
was the mojo guy last night.
Attaboy.
But yeah, Mike, he's quite the defenseman, man. He was like
Stud, bro.
5 guys, like 5 skaters, no rest. Pretty high-paced game. He's still gapping, going to the blue line, pivoting and backing up to take away the
bro.
gap.
He's gapping, he's blocking shots, he's
Yeah.
taking clappers,
Winning
he's
battles.
putting pucks in the net.
Yeah.
I don't think there's more of an MVP on a men's league team than Mike. Like Mike needs his flowers, and he's getting them right now
Yeah.
because Mike's a stud back there.
Yeah, he really, between him and Reed and net,
Oh,
and then every other
Sounds like
guy
a
on the
nightmare.
that was there just putting in a full effort. Tay scored 2 goals.
big Tay. Tay's
Yeah.
nasty.
It was just a
Is Stevie
class
playing?
act.
Stevie playing with us or no?
He will be, but he wasn't there last
He
night.
had a kid. He just had a kid.
Yeah, he's a little occupied.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so it's him, Rob, other Mike. We have 3 mics on our team now.
We
for
have
the
three
summer.
mics. Who's the other
Yeah.
mic?
But yeah, we should have more guys coming up next week. But yeah, I thought that was worth a shout out. The Puck Daddy's first victory of the year with only 5 skaters.
Nice.
And I should mention the only reason I wasn't playing is because I messed up my pinky.
Yeah, well, I needed to know what happened with this pinky situation.
So Saturday morning I was loading up Chris's truck, which is Shannon's dad.
Okay.
We were loading it up. I was holding my dog and on leash in my right hand, and I was trying to help him put down the tonneau cover.
Okay.
And I was like trying to let it down slow, and then in the last like foot, he dropped it, thinking I was gonna drop it as well.
Oh no, you
and
gotta
my pinky-
communicate. No, I got crushed.
And it's like an aluminum metal heavy, like it was waterlogged heavy right on my pinky, and it was immediately like just.
Oh, sliced.
I don't want to be too graphic for everyone, but yeah, it was like lots of red stuff, and took about 5-10 minutes for it to stop.
Oh,
Had to seal it up and suture it. I didn't go to the hospital. We
no
just
stitches.
no.
Glue?
It probably could have, but I don't think there was like it's too tough of skin there.
Yeah.
So they probably would have sutured it like I did with Chris. He helped me bandage it up, and then I proceeded to spend the whole weekend helping install a dog fence, like dig in and
Oh,
doing
sweet.
wiring and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
And then our game was last night, so I didn't really have much time to recover.
Yeah, you
It's
don't
still
wanna sweat and you want to like.
I don't want to reopen it, but yeah, so that's why I didn't play. Hopefully I'm good for next
Yeah,
week.
hopefully that heals up quick.
Yeah, exactly. But it was fun coaching though. It's funny because so I went there last night. My finger's like starting to heal. It's starting to like scab over like it should and everything. And then I'm on the bench, and then after I'm in the dressing room with the guys, I realized that it's starting to open a little bit. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they got my heart pumping so much just from watching them win with
Get that
5
big
skaters.
W?
I'm like shaking on the bench as the coach. I can't
No way.
imagine being the coach and there's no one on the bench. What do you do? How do you coach?
Just watch, baby. You scream at them.
I was yelling from the bench.
Vocal. A
Yeah.
lot of vocals. Gap up.
If
boys.
they had time, I was making sure. I was like, boys, just get the blue line, shoot it in because
Yeah,
it's
over
blue
and
line
in.
icing.
Over and in.
I'm like, that's your line change. It's
Yeah,
you
it
dump it in, you don't chase it, you just catch your breath and then do it again
Yeah,
until you're
5
ready.
guys is definitely tough. We played with 6 a couple weeks ago or a month ago,
Yeah.
and we were gassed. It was on the big ice though. It was on the Olympic size Allendale.
Oh yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, that's a big pad.
Yeah, it is a big pad.
It's wider than
Yeah.
you're used to. So if
Very
the puck's on the
wide.
other end, like the other far corner, feels like it takes ages to get
You
there.
can't even get pucks off people because like if you're a good skater, there's no.
I
way.
love playing there for
Yeah,
that
I
reason.
do too. It's just like you just like
And you can
easily
easy
out.
passes, lots of open ice.
Oh, it's money, bro.
Yeah, opposite of what I'm used to in my cold water league, that's for sure. But yeah, so we kind of already talked about the Leaf stuff. What do you think is going to be like? I want to know what's your ideal lineup? Like if you were Sheldon Keefe, if you had beef with Keefe and you could tell him what your thoughts are and what the game 1 lineup should be, what would you do?
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Start with forwards.
I'm gonna go start with forward line. I don't think you split up this Domi, Bertuzzi, Matthews line.
I'm right there with you.
I think we got it because you're maximizing Domi and Bertuzzi,
Yeah,
and they're actually clicking and they got chemistry.
they got a few plays that work really
'Cause
well.
as soon as you take that line up, like you take that out,
Mhm.
Domi loses identity.
Yeah.
Bertuzzi loses identity. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that line, like
They can rely on Matthews to be a threat and then basically everyone on the ice is going to be wanting to shut down Matthews.
yes,
So it allows Bertuzzi and Domi to like get to the net and get those goals where if they're on a different line, it's a lot harder because they're going to be covered more, right?
Yeah, Domi's a skill guy. Domi can set guys up.
Oh, elite.
Bertuzzi's going to be deflecting pucks in. Pappy's going to be horsing in there too.
Yeah.
So I like that for line one. And then I would say you definitely need like Marner on the second line.
Yeah.
With, sorry, God, I'm getting a little kickback from that burrito I ate
Just smashed a burrito bowl
5 minutes before this.
Yeah.
So I got Marner, and then I would even put Nyes.
Ooh, nice second line.
And Tavares.
Yeah.
Try that. Or Marner and Nylander Nyes.
Who's playing center?
Nylander.
Nylander.
Nylander up the middle. And then I would go
Oh, man.
JT. I think JT's got to be line 3, to be honest.
I think in an ideal world, they would have acquired a second line center or third line center at the deadline.
But Nylander's playing center on the third line.
Not really.
Yeah, he's taking.
Holmberg is.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, Nylander isn't playing. Like, I think that ship has sailed with Keefe at least. And, like, maybe back when Nylander was first coming up, when, like, Babcock was coaching him, if they had to put him center then and gave him some time to develop, then he could have done it. Like, I would sooner try Marner at center, but not going into the playoffs. Like, they would have had to start that preseason, you know?
I just think JT's so slow. I feel he's so slow, bro.
He gets caught for, like, there was... in the
he's-
past, like, 6 games I've been paying attention, I've seen about, like, 6-7 times, like, once a game at least, he's carrying the puck through the neutral zone,
gets
looking for
caught,
options, and then someone comes from behind,
Strips
stick lift,
him
strips him, and goes the other way.
And then
He's
it's
got to
like,
move the puck faster. Like, he's good, like, still effective, but in the neutral zone, he can't be trying to skate it, you know?
Yeah,
He needs to, like, get the puck and make a play with it.
but Nyes looked like a horse last game.
I think he's playing for his spot in the lineup.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
he's
he's
gonna
trying
be in
to-
the lineup, but
Like, in the higher part of the lineup.
yeah, like he was on first line the whole year,
Yeah.
and then they kind of broke that up. Like I think Nyes needs to be up in the line for 1 or 2.
So that's an interesting.
Nyes and Marner, I like them together. I guess just like JT, but like I don't know.
Still need an effective centerman, like, for the faceoffs though on second line, and like JT, as much as he isn't fast, he's still effective at shutting down guys in their zone. Like,
Not really though.
he.
Like he's I just like he like
I guess Marner really boosts up his numbers there.
it's like even defensively like he's not like he's just kind of like
Mhm.
he can play once he has the guy pinned on the boards and it's a stick battle.
Mhm.
But like if he's not,
I just think that I agree. I just don't think that they're gonna be moving JT off the second line for this season, like for this playoffs. You know, like it's
yeah.
just they got to go with what they've been running all year.
What did they have when JT was on the third line? Who were they playing at center
When were they doing that? I don't even
for
remember.
a while? Because JT had like no goals in like 15 games.
Was that when they were doing kind of like a pseudo second line, third line? They were just playing them both equal numbers.
No, JT was on the third line,
Right.
and it was Nylander. I don't know who they. I think they had Styles up the middle, bro.
No. They did try it like in the first like game of the season or something, and then they're like, nope, that's not happening. They tried it like 2 games, and that was it.
Domi.
They put Domi on the
I
second.
think they put Domi second
Yeah.
line center.
So I think that's where the challenge comes, is that they don't have 3 solid top like 6 centermen. So they're like trying to spread it out. But I think that Domi has been so effective with Matthews. You're right. You can't split them up. I think that Marner, if he's not going to be first line with Matthews, because Bertuzzi has also been effective, I could see them putting Bertuzzi on the second line, but then I don't think that him and JT are going to produce as much as Bertuzzi is with Domi and Matthews.
I just feel like that line, like the boys just love playing with Matthews, so it's like
yeah. Well, who wouldn't?
yeah. So it's
You
like
know?
you take like Matthews off, like you can put. I don't know if Marner and Matthews need to be together.
They should be able to drive their own lines. Yeah.
Yeah, like Marner.
And that's why I think that it's okay to have JT play center on the second line if Marner's there,
yeah.
because Marner's like super effective defensively too,
Yeah.
right? Like you see him picking off passes, and like he's on the penalty kill for a reason, right? Like he's
Yeah.
always like in the right places. He's a good defender, like where he's putting himself in position for. So I think if it were me, I would keep the Matthews, Bertuzzi, Domi line
Yeah.
because it's been working so well. Like why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
At least
you
try it
ha-
for
I think
game
you
1.
Have to. You can't.
Yeah.
I feel like if you tried to tear that, the whole lineup gets
Yeah, exactly.
like shifted and
And I would
yeah.
on line 2, I would go Tavares, Marner, and either one of Bobby McMahon.
Yeah, you're a McMahon lover.
Or
you like McMahon.
Or Yarncroke when he comes back. I feel like
Yarncroke ain't in the lineup.
Yarncroke and McMahon to me are the ones that should play on the second line because Yarncroke is an effective he can be a really good shutdown winger.
Sold on Yarny.
No,
I'm not. I don't know. Like I liked him like last year, like year before. This year I haven't been impressed, and he's been hurt. I forgot he was even on the team.
Yeah. Well,
you can't
that's
come
the thing.
Back off an injury and then play playoff hockey. Like I just don't think that's gonna be.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll
hard
get
for him to get in, especially when you
Mhm.
have the Robertsons and you have
Right.
McGregor that has speed. Like unless Yarncroke is scoring, which I don't know how many goals he got this year, but I didn't see him.
Well, he hasn't played a ton of games.
Yeah, I don't think.
But I don't think you put him in for the he is good at getting to the net. Like he's good at scoring those types of goals.
He's good at looking like he's doing something.
Yeah.
But like actually being productive, like I don't know.
I think it depends on who they match up with. Because for me, if you put
is he hitting guys?
If you put Yarncroke on a line with Tavares and Marner, there's your you can start all of a sudden you can put Matthews, Domi, and Bertuzzi in more offensive zone starts. Like they can take more of the offensive chances, and you put Tavares, Marner, and Yarncroke as not a full on shutdown line, but you're able to put them against top talent.
Yeah.
Whereas with McMahon, Tavares, and Marner, there's a little bit more upside on the scoring with McMahon, but not quite as effective on the defensive side.
I like Nyes on that second line.
Yeah.
I do like over McMahon. 100%.
I just think that Nyes, Holmberg, and either
Nylander can't be on the third line, bro. I can't believe that that's happening right now. He's too good.
What if he just lights up third line talent though?
He won't though, because it's because you play like a third liner when you're on the third line. You're
You don't think he
you're
can
playing with other third liners. You're not playing with
guys
that are snapping it around
I don't know, but Nylander can take over a shift against some top end talent if he's on the ice. Even with Holmberg's good at getting sticks on pucks and retrieving the puck. So if he can get the puck to Nylander, that line is just basically get the puck to Nylander and let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Whereas
tough.
on the second or first line, if you keep him up there, then all of a sudden it's okay, well Marner's going to be carrying the puck more. I think Nylander needs to be able to carry the puck through the neutral zone to have get in the game.
What about Nylander and Matthews? Why we haven't even thought about that?
Yeah, they that was we're going back to 2017, 18.
Yeah.
They were running that, right?
I think last year too.
Yeah, they tried it a little bit, but I don't know, man. Who are you gonna take? Who you put?
I feel like you got to experiment. I feel like you might have to experiment.
Yeah, but in the playoffs though.
Before going in the playoff, last 4 games,
yeah.
Do we try Marner and Matthews again, or do we stay away from that, or do we?
See, I always find it interesting leading into the playoffs when teams start messing with the lineup more. Is 4 games really gonna give you enough of an idea if it's gonna work or not?
Well, Marner kind of came in and we had mojo, and then it kind of blew the lines up. So there's been a identity,
bit of an adjustment there.
Identity, guys trying to find their spot again because Marner takes up so much ice.
Yeah,
the Robertsons who were shining, the kind of the third line guys.
Yeah,
take a back seat. The Nyes, McMahon's.
See, to me, the way I see it is the top line is set for game 1. It could change if it doesn't work out. Top line is set. Second line is set with Marner and Tavares, and the third guy is anyone that basically takes that spot, that makes Keefe's okay, I have to put you there because you're just playing so well. And then the third line is a rotation of the other 3 or 4 guys, the Yarncrokes, if it's McMahon, Robertson, Nyes.
Robertson on that second line.
What about Nyes? I thought you wanted Nyes.
Robertson, Nyes or Robertson.
Yeah,
either of those two.
That's what I'm saying. Whoever is producing, whoever's playing the game that they want for that line, whether it's more defensive, more offensive.
I would try it out. I don't know why Robertson hasn't got a crack with a Marner or with a Matthews. Bro, this guy can score goals.
Mm-hmm.
And if he just needs the puck, and if Marner's dishing to him, and he gets in there. He's quick. He's got speed. I believe Robertson will be a 40-goal scorer in the NHL.
40, eh?
40 plus. He might be 50.
Goals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I don't know, in the next 5 years. But
I mean,
he hasn't been given the opportunity. He's getting benched every other game. He's coming back. He's like a 20-goal scorer if he was actually playing 20 plus already
I think he just
on the
needs to
Leafs
like.
with no identity.
He's a bit. He doesn't have quite the. Like he's a smaller guy, and he hasn't quite found the way to get like to the net more yet. Most of his goals that I've seen are he's capitalizing on a great opportunity
But like
on the perimeter.
it's hard to the puck
Yeah.
comes to you, like scoring goals, like to
Mhm.
get the puck to come to you is not an easy
Yeah.
thing to do. I do think we're not using him properly, and Keefe
Well, it's just one
doesn't
of
know
those
what he's
things.
doing.
The Leafs have a deep roster, you know, like it's tough
Yeah.
to play on a competitive team in the NHL. Yeah, he might get 40 goals on Arizona, you know.
Bro, put him
But-
on Dallas Stars with his brother. He's scoring 40, bro.
Yeah.
100%. He just doesn't have an identity. He just like they don't like every minute of the game goes to Marner and
Mhm.
Matthews and Tavares and Nylander.
Yeah. Well, so the thing is, if you put Robertson, put him in that second line, that means someone else is coming out of lineup, and who else deserves not to be in the lineup?
Gregor,
Well, Gregor hasn't been in the lineup. They're just putting him in to like rest some guys.
yeah, like Camp. He's playing okay. He's a center, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Reeves.
Who plays fourth line center if you take Camp out?
Reeves.
You know. Yeah, like Revo. Then it's like, okay, are you? Yeah, honestly, from a numbers perspective and from like a pure chance to score, yeah, you probably should take Reeves out of the lineup. But it's playoffs, and you
Yeah.
want to have that mojo, you know.
Yeah, they're gonna sit Robertson, which is I just don't.
I feel like they're probably gonna play Reeves like every other game, maybe,
Yeah.
just to get the mojo in, you know, and
I think it depends on like the series and if we win with them in.
like
the
maybe
lineup.
they play Reeves in the away games, like
Yeah.
in the road games, because
Or no,
like-
the home. I feel like the home when he's crushing guys like give you the energy. Like
oh, the opposite, eh?
yeah, because I feel like he's like a
Ah, yeah, I guess that's fair. Because true, if in an away game, the other team could end up matching up against them easier too.
yeah.
like
You want to keep it quiet. I feel like
Yeah.
in the like road games, you're trying to just like get in and out.
right,
Try not to like
yeah, stealth mode.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's
That's
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do. Like that's always one of the most exciting things for me is game one of the playoffs. Every team is like just so pumped to be in the playoffs and ready to play, and especially when your team, you're not sure what like some teams you know what the lineup's going to be. They've been running it like all year. There's just like a couple differences, and the only way it'll be different if someone gets hurt. The Leafs has had like how many different variations have they had? You know, like it seems like every week they're running a different lineup.
Literally every week. bro.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you're just like kind of throwing guys in on the third, fourth line.
Yeah.
You don't know, like you can't keep any guys on the third, fourth because you pay your big boys so much that it's just like
Yeah.
it's like a circus act. Who's coming in today?
Mm-hmm.
Who's filling in for our third line
But
today?
that's-
Fourth line.
That's kind of what I love about it this year, though, is it doesn't really matter who they have. It feels like there's starting to develop a bit of a culture around the team
Yes.
that it doesn't matter who you are. You can do your job and produce, and
Mm-hmm.
you're part of the team. You know, like you feel that through the TV or like
You can
through the
also get
interviews.
promoted. It's like
Yeah.
if you're playing well, like Domi
Mm-hmm.
started on the third line, getting 11 minutes a game to playing with Matthews
Yeah.
in a star role.
I mean, yeah, Domi plays well with top talent, and everyone's known that. And it just took him a while to get to that point.
Yeah, what did I say at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, you did.
Said
It
Domi
took the
should-
whole season
yeah,
to get
Domi,
there.
Matthews, Bertuzzi.
Mm-hmm.
I called that on the podcast. I think in September, bro.
Yeah, I think it was probably like October,
Yeah,
November.
said and then
Yeah.
what? Guess what? I
Chip
should
was
be
right.
an NHL coach. I
Yeah.
would have been beginning of the season. We would have this thing buzzing. The boys would have been having identities.
I think we should do a segment from here on, beef with Keefe.
Beef with Keefe. That's good, man. Beef with Keefe.
Yeah.
I got a lot of beef with Keefe 'cause I think I could run the team
And
better.
if he, sorry, before we move on, I do have some other stuff I want to talk about with you because you've had a busy couple weeks too. I want to know if the Leafs don't make it. I'm going to say if they don't make it past the second round this year, do you think Keefe sticks around for another, like for the entire season next year? You know, like if they struggle to make a run in the playoffs, do you think his
I
job's
feel
in
like
trouble?
It's like cup or bust this year.
But for Keefe, like they just signed an extension for him. You know, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's
I feel
just
like everyone, like the whole team's getting blown up if we don't win the cup.
you think.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like yeah,
Hmm.
like one of the big boys is gonna
Yeah.
be gone.
I think
I
that
think it's a whole new rebuild almost. Like
if they put in, if they need to win the first round, otherwise Keefe's probably gone. If they win the first round, and make it to the second round, the second round needs to be like an actual like battle. They can't roll over like they did with
Yeah,
Florida.
I feel like it needs to be like it's like a Washington Capitals situation
Mm,
where they just but like Washington always got out of like they'd win 3 rounds.
yeah,
We're just like
or they'd play Pittsburgh in the second
it
round.
seems like we're a fringe team every year. Like we're locked for the playoffs, but we're an easy out every year in the playoffs. Like it's like
Well, that's just the
not an
reputation.
easy out, but like
We just need
there's
to
no
we just
chance
need to
we were
beat
winning
them
the
up.
cup.
We just need to beat them up, and then we win. Basically,
Yes.
that's what happens to the Leafs every year. So hopefully this year's different.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting beat up with schedules, Jeremy went in on vacation.
Yeah.
You kind of took the opposite approach the past week or two. You've been like bouncing around between events. You did the OHL Combine. I know like a few weeks ago you're hanging out with the Nelk boys.
Yeah.
You have been doing some
Figure
content with
skating.
Quench. You've been doing figure skating.
Yeah.
There's a new so of the past 2 weeks, give me your highlight reel. Like what's your top, I don't know, give me 20 minutes here. I want to hear like
Yeah.
just how your couple weeks have gone. It's been a busy one.
Yeah, it's definitely been a busy couple of weeks. Like yeah, I guess it started 3 weeks ago with the Nelk video.
Mm-hmm.
So we were at the NHL Stadium Series in February,
Oh, okay.
and I got a message from Kyle from the Nelk Boys on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you telling me
he's
that.
like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
do you want to do a video
For a Happy Dad,
when we're
right?
back in Canada for
Right.
Happy Dad?
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, yo, I grew up watching the Nelk Boys. Like when I was in grade 9, like every week they
Mm-hmm.
drop like a new prank.
Yeah,
or
that
a
was
travel
OG,
video,
yeah.
and I was like, yo, Kyle's like literally the OG.
Mm-hmm.
He went across Canada in a hippie van, like him,
Yeah.
MTV Jesse, and so I was like, no way, like to get a chance to be in an Elk video, I was like, yo, this is like an awesome opportunity and like
Mm-hmm.
something to check off the bucket list. So then, yeah, then they came. I think it was around March. I think it was 18th, and we went down to Mississauga and they
Mhm.
rented out a rink.
Right. It looked like an old barn. I
It
saw.
was Streetsville. I never
Okay.
played there in my life, but
Yeah.
that's what it's called.
Sweet.
And we showed up. Austin was there. Eric Nagy.
Mm-hmm.
Couple other like
Both guys will probably have on the pod.
yeah,
some
we gotta
point.
get those boys on the pod.
Yeah,
for
Austin's
sure.
a beauty. I
Yeah.
met Eric a couple times. He's he's funny too.
He's a
We should just have him on for the Puck Daddy show. Do some fun.
oh,
do the
100%.
games. Yeah, yeah.
The boys are beauties. Like
Yeah.
we were all chopping it up that day and like
Mhm.
it was cool. We did like one scene in the room.
Yeah.
And then we did another scene on the ice. It was cool just to see how their team
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like an
operated.
ad, right? Like a yeah.
Yeah, it was like it's gonna be I guess slotted in before their full send podcast or
Right.
kind of before like maybe a vlog or something like that.
Sick.
But it was for the Happy Dad launch in Canada.
Right.
So that was like on the Tuesday, and then they were coming to Barrie to do a launch at one of the clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, "Oh, Chip, like, you gonna host the pre? You gonna host
Yeah.
the pre-game?" And I'm like, "Man, like, I don't know if I could host a pre. You know what I mean? I don't know about that."
On that level, you're gonna have to rent
yeah,
out an Airbnb
yeah,
or
that's what I
something.
mean. I'm like, and then they were
The
telling me
parents aren't gonna want to have Nelk in their house.
they were telling me they couldn't have any like all the Airbnbs that they couldn't rent to Airbnbs because they've destroyed them at like
Yeah.
the game. So I'm like, I don't know. And then so
You
Friday,
just got to create a new Airbnb account.
yeah, exactly, like no name. But the Friday comes around, so they're coming. They're like, "Yo, be there in a couple hours. Any prees?"
Yeah.
So now I'm like, man, I gotta get a pregame for the boys, right? Like,
Yeah.
come on, I can't like drop.
Can't let them down.
Can't let them down.
Got to give them a Canadian welcome.
So I hop on my
Puck Daddy
my
welcome.
phone, bro. I'm on my phone, like texting people, "Yo, can you host a pregame?"
Yeah.
Like literally an hour, 2 hours before.
Right.
I'm texting like the restaurants downtown. Yo, could you get us a back room? Like
Uh huh.
the Nelk boys are in town. Like we're
Yeah.
trying to host something before their event, and then so I ended up getting the club to have what's it called, a secret room in the
Right.
back of I guess one of the restaurants, like a full room. There
Mhm.
was a house that we could have 30 people at.
Right.
So I pulled clutch. I'm sending it to Gambles. I'm like, yo, I got the
Oh,
got the
nice.
pre locked in, and the boys were like, oh, don't worry about it. We're just gonna go out for dinner. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like blessed because I didn't want to have
The
that
anxiety,
stress, the
yeah,
anxiety of like
yeah.
having to host this thing. But
Right.
yeah, we ended up linking with them at the dinner, and then we headed over to this was Friday night to the club,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't do a lot of clubbing.
Yeah.
You know
No.
what I mean, but the boys sent it, and like there was a little stage, and yeah, it was packed out,
Right.
and that was the Friday night. And the next day they were going to Toronto
Mm-hmm.
to do a Rebel nightclub,
Okay. Yeah.
and so we had up next day, woke up, drove to Toronto, and then linked up with them, and there was Drewski.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big comedian. I don't know if you know who Drewski is.
I think maybe you told me about him before,
He's
or
hilarious.
I've
He's
just
funny.
heard of him.
You've definitely seen like maybe
Yeah.
clips going viral or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a surreal experience, and like
Yeah.
after that week though, I was done. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that next week, I got like I wasn't sick, but like I felt like really low energy, and like
Mm-hmm.
I definitely had some sort of bug I got from the club maybe or whatever.
Right.
And yeah, I guess then and then on Monday I had a video shooting a figure skating video.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Gabby Daleman, she's an Olympic gold medal Canadian winner.
I'm not gonna pretend like I know figure skating, but that's cool.
No, yeah, but she was Olympic,
Yeah.
youngest Canadian Olympian ever, 14. She was in Sochi
Sick.
or something like
Yeah.
that. So it was cool to link with her and learn
Test the
figure-
edge work.
Yeah, test the
Did
edge
you
work.
put on figure skates or you rocked the hockey?
That's part 2. So we got part 2 or hopefully coming soon.
You gotta. I feel like. I mean, I don't know much about figure skating, but I do know that the reason they have different skates is because you need the. You don't need as much of an edge. It needs to be more flat, and you also need the toe pick to do stuff.
To do like all the spins and
Yeah.
So we were learning just some good edge work. Like every hockey player needs to run through the edge work stuff with figure
Yeah.
skaters.
Just do it on a different ice pad than where we play.
I
hockey.
know I had to call. I called the place before. I'm like, yo, is it good if we like
Chop this up real quick.
Well, we weren't even chopping it up. Like it was pretty light. Like
Yeah.
just like their edge work though. There's so much
It's more
better than
smooth,
hockey players.
majestic.
Like just
Yeah.
they know their edges inside out like
Mhm.
so well.
Right.
So that was a fun video. And then we were talking a little bit with the OHL about like doing a partnership
Mm-hmm.
and like bringing me out to like the combine
Right.
and running me through the combine. So that was like we were talking about that last February.
Yeah.
And
Long time in the making.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we were like, all right, like Coach Chippy goes through the combine, like kind of
Mhm.
like a YouTube video idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I show up to the combine.
What's the OHL marketing team like? It's probably not very big.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got like
Mhm.
all the teams individually have their own marketing teams as well.
Right. Well, I knew that, but
Yeah,
I just thought that for the OHL, a lot of the marketing falls on the teams. I didn't think that
it does. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it does fall. Like they had
like the Barrie Colts will have a lot of probably like a handful on their
Yeah.
marketing team and social media and stuff. But then the OHL itself, it's kind of like the NHL. Like some
Yeah.
teams in the NHL have more, like the Leafs, for example, have a lot more marketing
Yes.
employees than even the NHL does. You know.
which is kind of how it is. Like I feel
Yeah.
like the OHL, but it was a cool opportunity because I'm like.
That's fun. A great idea for a
I
video.
grew up wanting to play in the OHL. Like that was like the OHL was like this big, got to make it to the OHL, play for the.
But when you're playing in Barrie,
Yeah.
under the Barrie Colts system,
Mhm.
it's the only like natural progression.
Mhm.
And I know some guys like Shannon's brother-in-law. He used to play goalie in the Barrie Colts system.
Yeah.
He's a couple years older than me, and he stopped playing when he was like once basically everyone reached their draft year. He just quit hockey
Yeah.
because it's like, well, okay, well, what's the point now?
If you don't make it. To
Whereas like Jared and I, we've talked about this in the past. Like you played AAA and you work your way up the system, and then it's like, okay, well, if you don't make it to the O, why even bother?
Yeah.
But if you're just playing like rep hockey or like you end up playing for different reasons and you don't end up like not playing,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
which I feel like it's kind of tragic. Like if you play your hockey your whole life, you'd think, why quit cold turkey? Like just go and play something, like find a different, go play player if you want, you know, like just change it
Yeah.
up.
I feel like a lot of people are just like done
Yeah.
with hockey after the minor hockey stuff. Like you're
Mhm.
just kind of like.
It's a lot of
played for
stress.
17 years.
Yeah.
Or like 15 years, and I'm just like maybe just take a little break.
Yeah.
Like I went down to house league, and I was like, this is actually fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah, I
played
can wheel.
competitive my
Yeah.
whole life. Like
Uh-huh.
I just want to go out there and score a hat trick and
Yeah.
have some
Go
fun
home.
and not
Need
have to
some
worry
candy in the
about
locker
making a
room after.
mistake. Like I
Yeah.
feel like like there's a lot of like just stressors on like minor hockey, competitive hockey, and
Mm.
having to be in the system, have to be a team player, don't make a mistake.
Yeah.
And like I think I just enjoyed like going down a house and just lighting it up and
No pressure.
take the puck for a skate. Like I feel like actually that would benefit a lot of players. Like
To find their love of the
like
game,
going
basically.
and like dropping down to like house for a season.
Yeah.
And, like just getting all that ice time and like dominating.
Right.
And then I feel like you just develop that confidence. I feel like you lose a lot of confidence if you're not like a high end
Mm-hmm.
AAA player.
You're a role player
You're
or
a
whatever.
role player, you're not
Yeah.
developing because you're not dominating, you're losing your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like playing
You're giving the puck
play
to someone
A,
else.
Go play A and
Mhm.
score 100 goals
Yeah.
as opposed to playing
If your
AAA and
system
getting
allows you.
6.
Like in some of the minor hockey things, you're not allowed to go down
What do you mean?
like in the same.
Not the same season.
No, but you can drop like in between seasons, but some of them it's like they have like a time frame you're not allowed to. It's not even per season. It's like if you play AAA one year, you can't go and play A in that same system.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not how ours was. Like you could do.
I think I could be wrong. I think there's something like that. I'd have to look it up, I
Yeah,
guess. But
we were able to, like, if you didn't want to play, you just try out for the team you want to try out for.
right.
Ours was like you can't go and play for another
Area.
organization.
Yeah,
area.
another
You have to be in
organization.
But I think it's kind of changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but yeah, like that was just like for OHL. Like you go to the OHL games.
Yeah.
Brian Little was a huge.
I remember watching him
Brian
growing
Little
up.
growing
Yeah.
up, bro. It's like, yo, this guy's the man. Shifley.
Yeah, Shifley is huge.
Um,
Obviously, still huge.
Yeah, Svechnikov played for
Yeah.
Very Colts.
You know who else played for him for the Colts? Sorry, is Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah, yeah.
And I could he's going to be. I mean, he is an effective goalie on San Jose.
Yeah.
San Jose just sucks.
Sure, yeah.
But like he's
tough
a good
there.
goalie. He's a solid goalie, and I could see him if he ever gets moved or San Jose starts coming up, he can be a big part of it there if he chooses. But I'm interested to see where his career goes because he's still pretty young. Like for a goalie, what is he like 25, 26? Like he's probably.
No.
I feel like he's only, if anything, he's only a year older than you. Like shouldn't you know him or like heard of him
He's
around?
older than me.
Okay, maybe
He's been around for a while.
maybe he's like a couple years younger
like
than me.
28.
27, 28. Yeah.
Maybe. I think.
Yeah, we could obviously look it up. I don't feel like it though.
No, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so back to your past couple of weeks. So you did the combine,
Yeah. So
the
I went,
OHL combine. What did they run you through, and how did you stack up to
Yeah,
the
so
15, 16 year
so I
olds?
got there and went in and I had my own little room. And
Mhm.
I was like, I got my gear. I'm actually wearing the shorts today.
Oh.
My little shorts, my combine shirt.
Combine worn shorts.
Exactly. So combine, and then they started with the off ice stuff. There was only 2 things they had these kids doing for off ice.
Really?
There was.
I thought there's like biking, sprints, like agility and like power bench. Don't you do like the bench and all that
I
stuff?
think they used to do that, but I don't think they just did this.
Maybe because the kids don't ever do that stuff. I don't know.
CM. I think it's changed. Like they don't do bench press now. I know
Yeah.
before they would do bench press, but
Mhm.
like I don't think that's a good measure. Like
Yeah,
14, if the kid can bench press or not. Like
yeah, it's kind of weird.
it's a different. Like they want like explosiveness. Like what's their agility like?
Mhm.
What's the I feel like the on ice portion is probably the most important.
Yeah, definitely.
But like yeah, obviously I'm coming in a man
Yeah,
a man amongst boys here.
yeah, man
and
amongst boys.
so the first machine. So like we walk in upstairs
hmm Where was it?
at the Oshawa Generals
Cool.
rink.
Right.
So we walk in upstairs. It was Jesse Polak and I, and we
Oh,
were
yeah,
like
yeah.
both going through the combine, and these kids are all like lined up, and it's like it's their draft or their like draft combine. So I'm like, I'm not trying to like like
Make 'em look bad.
distract them or
Yeah.
like like I'm like, yo, just focus on yourself, But all
Yeah.
the boys were just like joking and laughing.
Uh-huh.
So I just like kind of snuck in, butted the line. I was like, yo, what up, boys? Like,
That's
what is this machine? I was trying to loosen them up a bit too. Like,
Yeah.
this can be a little stressful. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, let's get the energy flowing in here a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys are coming from different teams. They don't know each other.
Yeah, there's always a dynamic
They're
there.
competing.
I remember going to like even the All-Star game in my rep hockey, like
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like weird.
it's like you're on a team with a bunch of different people, or like you're in the
and
dressing
you
room.
don't
It just
really know how to
feels weird.
socialize yet.
Yeah,
so you're
yeah.
not really like you're just kind of going in, staying in your own shell.
Everyone's all awkward.
Yeah, and like not talking. It's like
Or there's one guy that tries to lighten it up, but it just doesn't work.
yeah, or it's just doing too much. And you're just
Yeah.
like, okay, this guy is a clown.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I came in and just was like asking the boys like, what's the machine? It was like the CMJ or something like that.
Mm.
You hop on this board, and it
Like a
weighs
platform?
You, it weighs you,
Yeah.
and then they had 2 jumps.
Right.
First jump was pretty much jump as high as you can, but bringing your arms up and then your arms down and exploding up.
Right.
And the second was you had to have your arms on your hips
Mm-hmm.
or hands on your hips, and then you had to be in a squat first,
Right.
and then just explode up.
Right. So one is kind of like where you're starting to do almost like a standing long jump,
But it's like
but
high
straight up.
height, yeah.
straight up.
So I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if it was like supposed to hang time, or I was like, what's the?
Yeah, you jump up, then kip your knees up to keep the time.
I wasn't sure, right? So I'm
Yeah.
like, what is this machine? Like, what am I doing here?
You must just measure how much force you're putting into the ground when you
Yeah.
jump.
So exactly, that's
Yeah.
what exactly it was. So then I was pretty explosive, just by visually explosive. Like
Yeah.
everyone in the room was like, oh,
Ooh,
Chip,
Chippy.
Chippy can get explosive.
Chippy's
here.
got hops. Yeah.
And then I did the second one,
Mm-hmm.
and then I hopped off the board, and I didn't even I forgot that they were like testing the score, so I just kind of like went and dapped everyone up. I was like, "Oh, what up? That's how it's done, boys."
Yeah.
And the guy calls me over. He's like, "You got 74."
Right.
I'm like, 70, is that good? Like,
Yeah.
is that,
What metric?
yeah, what is 74 mean? He's like, well,
Out of
that's
1,000?
the, he goes, well, that's the highest one so far.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I was fired up. Coach
Yeah.
Chip's fired up. Like,
Straight to the ego.
yeah, straight to the ego. I'm like, that's how it's done, guys, eh? Like, just tune in. Chip knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then we headed over to the, so I set the record on the CMJ machine at the OHL Combine.
It's good to know that you got more hops than the 15-year-olds.
15-year-old. Well, come on. How are these? I shouldn't, though.
You'd feel like,
how do I have
is
more
it-
hops?
is
I'm
it-
out of shape.
I don't understand how is it
It measures
based on your weight first, and then it's your power to weight
to
ratio.
power.
Yeah, so I think it's obviously because like these 15-year-old kids, they haven't been like training or anything, so they don't have a lot of muscle mass to like.
I remember when I was playing, like the 15-year-olds were massive, bro. Like,
But
my
like that's
buddies
your
were
memory, though.
huge, bro.
Like when I was
there
when
was-
I was
there was
13, I
bigger
remember
boys.
seeing the like 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, and they looked massive to me. But it's
Yeah,
like
I guess
then
that's
you get
true,
older,
like,
and yeah,
I am like a man. You guys are like 50,
Yeah.
so. But yeah, but they were like chirping me on, like they're like, oh, you're not gonna get like certain amount of pull-ups. I'm like, guys, like you guys don't understand. I can do. But also I was coming off strep throat for 2 weeks. Like I said, I did have sickness.
oh geez,
And I was sick as a dog. Couldn't eat food because I was on my road to a Bedsy build.
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
was doing my leg days
Went a little too hard or what?
at the club. Apparently, I got a
Mm.
sickness, bro, and it was lingered for me for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I couldn't shake it for 2 weeks, and then I'm like, literally the first day I felt better was the combine day,
oh that's.
and I was
lucky.
like, okay, but like still, you lost all your strength.
yeah.
Like you haven't been eating, and so I was like, yo, I'm gonna.
Maybe it's good though. It gave your body like
But,
a chance to
but
not.
you also have 25 people and cameras on you for these pull-ups. So I'm like, I'm gonna go hard on this.
yeah,
So I ended up cranking out 12. I know I could get like 16. If
12. That's pretty good.
12 was yeah.
I think my
Bennett didn't get any.
max.
NHL one,
Yeah.
wasn't it? He couldn't do one pull-up.
Well, yeah. Pull-ups are weird. Like it's very based like on body composition, but like I can do probably like 8 pull-ups.
Yeah, yeah.
And
they're not easy.
But not overhand grip though. Like overhand grip, I can do maybe like 4 or 5.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, they're hard. Like
I
I
used to do weighted pull-ups. Like I could do like 4 or 5 weighted pull-ups with like 60 pounds,
yeah,
but I could still only do like 6 to 8 body weight pull-ups. It's like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
rep range is difficult.
yes.
But yeah, it's always fun.
But I knew like
You get in that
I
mentality,
had
right?
done like no one know I had done. I used to work out like every day. I used to do like I could do like 20.
Yeah, yeah.
Pull-ups, like no one knew. So I'm like I'm loving it because these kids are chirping me like I'm about to dust you kids on these pull-ups. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
So that I
Respect your elders.
yeah respect your elders and I knew I could do pull-ups. So I was like all right.
That's funny.
I probably could have got like
So it was the jumping, it was pull-ups off ice.
that was it. Yeah.
Okay, and then you got on the ice. Give me a quick rundown. What was the drills they put you through there?
So we got on the ice, we did a little skate around, and then it was the machines with that like track. If it's green, you have to go left,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's red, you have to go right. So that
Oh, I remember like McDavid was using this
yeah,
stuff.
so that's like
Yeah.
they put. I'm like, holy, I didn't even like. And it throws you off because you're like green, you're like left, and you have to like jump, and it's tracking if you're going the right way.
Right.
So
On the ice?
on the ice. So they have like you have like little gates. You go through the gate, and then
Uh-huh.
you have to go around the cone and back to the middle, and then another one lights up.
Oh, so it's like you see the light, go around, reset.
Reset
See
out,
the next
new
light,
gate.
reset. Okay,
Yes.
I got you. So it's a reaction thing and
It's
like
a
an agility
reaction.
type thing.
Exactly. And I
Right.
got thrown off because the first one, it was like, okay, red's right, left is green,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes green, and then green.
So how do they measure it? They just watch you do it and see how you look.
Time. You go through the gate.
it's a time.
All these kids had wristbands.
Right.
We didn't have wristbands, so I don't really know if
Mm.
they tracked ours like too well. But they
Yeah.
would scan the wristband,
Mm.
and I guess they were given a number, and then it would show on the top board
Right.
the fastest kids and all the kids
Oh.
in order.
Right.
So they get competitive and they look up and they're like, "Damn, I'm the worst," or
Right.
"I'm first," right?
Wow. That's cool.
So that was the gated one, and then it was just like straight speed. You
Mhm.
go
End to end.
and then you do it with a puck,
Yeah.
and then you go through like I don't know, you probably see McDavid do it. Like you go up the right side, then you loop through all the cones.
Yeah.
Then you do it without a puck, with a puck,
Yeah.
and then we did like bro,
Like,
there's
like
they put
those
me
dog
through-
weave things, like the dog agility training. You got
Bro,
the
it
big
was
poles,
insane.
right?
And I haven't done this stuff since I was like
Yeah.
15, probably like a practice.
I didn't see your I saw your I think you posted on Instagram. I didn't watch it all, but I saw one where you were doing like a cut back, tap it under the guy's stick, another cut back, tap it under, and then go
Yeah.
and shoot on the goalie.
Yeah.
I saw that one.
We did. Then there was one where you go reverse crossovers,
Mm-hmm.
through up, reverse crossovers, and I haven't done these drills literally since like 15.
Were you gassed? Were you tired?
I was gassed. So, like, I don't think like
And you do it all in one day, like you do the off ice stuff.
all of it. And so
Yeah.
you puck, and then you'd be like, okay, now we got to do no puck, and then like they didn't give these kids any water breaks. There was no water. I'm like going over to the bench, like, yo, where's the water, man? And these kids are already lined up for the next drill, and I'm dying. and then there was like reverse crawl, like reverse straight reverses, and like literally if you don't do those every day, like if you're not working on your edge work, like those cone drills
They're not easy.
they're not easy to do.
Yeah.
And I made it look easy.
But in your head, you were struggling.
I was like, I had to flow. So I'm like, yo, I was low key before before every drill, I would go and like practice it before.
Right.
Like I'd be like, I was always that guy. Like
Yeah.
if it was a new drill, I'd be like, oh, okay, I want to like practice before it's actually my turn to go. So I'd be
Right.
like, I was literally going through the cones in front of, but like they had us out there with the actual players,
Yeah.
like during their
That's
combine,
wild.
which is
The
hilarious.
NHL would never. You know.
Don't say never. I feel like they
Yeah.
might. Yo,
They're gonna see your YouTube video and be like, "We got to get in on this."
There was a couple kids though that were flying, bro,
Yeah.
through those gates. I'm like, holy, like this is a different level of edge work that
Yeah.
I don't have.
This
Like,
is well, the kids now they've been doing those drills and stuff. Like
Bro.
they do like private sessions and
they're nasty.
yeah.
Like the one kid, I'm like, holy, this kid's
Mhm.
disgusting. Like
Yeah.
it was cool to see that.
That's pretty.
And they're
neat,
they're tall. They're all tall.
yeah.
Like
Mhm.
they were tall and lanky,
Yeah.
but they were all tall. Like I showed it, and I'm like, there was no
No one that was like short.
there's no 5'9"
Yeah.
kid out there. Like
That's
yeah, it was
crazy,
definitely-
man.
I would have thought there'd be a couple little smaller guys that
Yeah, that haven't hit their growth spurt
but
yet or
no,
something.
it was mostly big.
I guess
boys.
if you're wanting to get drafted, then like you got to be somewhat have some size,
Yeah.
you know, like
Which is like I feel like it's definitely changing. There's definitely been guys that have like dominated though.
you
that
either have to be like shorter and just absolutely
so
dominating,
skilled.
you know, like you gotta
So
it's got to
skilled,
make
yeah.
up, like guys like Stankoven, for example,
Yeah.
like you know, like they can't overlook them.
Yes.
Whereas like if you're short and you're equally as talented, then it's just that one less thing that they can check off, you know.
So I did impress myself.
Yeah,
I was nervous because a couple days before we did the quench thing,
yeah.
and they had us
I saw that
they had us
too.
doing the same drills, but I didn't have my gear on
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have a helmet on.
Right.
So,
So
like,
the confidence isn't
I
there.
had no
Yeah.
confidence, bro. I was like, can I even? That's why I got so nervous for the combine. Cause I'm like, bro, I don't even know if I can do like a tight turn.
I've done
I was like,
practice sessions.
I don't even know if I
yeah.
can do it tight. Because these guys, like Barbs and these guys were all going. Like Jared was looking pretty good, but these guys are on the ice more than me. Like I don't.
They
I'm
go on
never
the ice. They go on the ice without helmets a lot more too. Like,
Yeah, and
without
so I
gear.
didn't like having the no.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't even do a tight turn. Like I'm like, I don't know if I can even do this combine. Like I was like, I might just not do it. And then I was like, no. But when I had the gear on, I was like,
You get in a different
oh,
mindset.
it's a different
yeah.
mindset. 'Cause you
Like,
just
when
commit
I
to the
get
turns.
When I get gear on, it's just completely natural.
Yes.
And like my shooting accuracy even gets better when I'm on the ice and
way
stuff.
more natural.
Like it's just it feels more at home. Whereas I've done like practices with Jeremy with literally like 8-year-olds, and I'm like, all right, we got to go and do this, and I'm doing the demo, and I'm like, I don't even have the confidence to
The
do like
reverse
a
cross.
punch stop.
Yeah,
and
that's what
reverse-
I'm
I'm like,
saying.
I'm like, what's going on here? Like,
It's a thing, bro.
yeah,
Because like it's like you don't have the hip protection. Like if you do like on a punch turn, like
yeah.
you fall. Like so I didn't commit to my edges
Mhm.
at the quench event. I was like, yo, I don't even know if I can play, boys. Like they
Yeah.
were like, yo, like Loki, Versteeg was like giving me tips. He's like, yo, look over your shoulder when you turn, bro. 'Cause I wasn't like I was
Yeah.
like, yo, is it this bad? Like I'm like I thought I was gonna be one of the most dominant ones.
Yo, Chip, have you tried looking where you're going?
Yeah, bro, that's literally what he was saying. So that's how
Yeah.
bad I was without the
That's
gear on, bro.
hilarious, dude.
Yeah, it was bad. I was like, okay, I got to bring it for this combine.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we wrap up this episode, I just wanted to give a shout out to our YouTube members, to anyone that's bought merch. You guys are beauties.
You guys appreciate it.
Yeah, we got a few orders the past couple weeks. Maybe it was like a cry for help to get us to make another episode.
Yeah, sorry, we took a little hiatus there.
Yeah,
But we're
just
back.
Chippy was so busy, and Jeremy was away.
Yes.
So I'm like, I could have done an episode by myself, but I don't think it would have really been that entertaining.
Would have been entertaining. Get in the mind of Hayden.
Yeah.
See what he's got to say.
Yeah, maybe if it ever happens again where you're both not available, I'll try one. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Did you have any mailbag questions? Actually, I should check that before we go.
Check to see.
I'm sure that you guys have had some questions. Most of them have been, when's the next pod? When's the next pod?
Yeah, I bet.
What happened to you guys? Are you okay? We got
sun's out today.
yeah, the sun's out. We love it. Yeah, someone asked, when are you posting? I listen to you guys every night. Oh, go leave us a review. That's one thing I wanted to say.
Oh yeah, if you guys.
On Spotify, you can't leave like an actual review, but you can give it a star rating. So do
Yeah,
that.
5 stars would be mint if you guys want to go head over.
Like
to
and
Spotify.
subscribe if you're on YouTube.
Huge. Huge.
You can become a member and you'll get access to the episodes a day early.
That's even better.
Except for on days like today where we record on a Wednesday and upload on a Wednesday, but
yes.
But you'll get the Puck Daddy show early. Yeah, I think that's it really. It's gonna do it for this episode. Tune in Friday for the Puck Daddy show. It's gonna be me and Chip.
Don't think, just flow.
Don't think, just flow. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Gonna change the world with my hockey stick. Gonna make a real difference.
We're still here.
Feed the poor and
We're still here.
And now we're gone.